Uh, Not much different. Obviously, we're always happy getting a win. That's not easy to do at this level. So proud of the guys for that part of it. We did a lot of good things. And obviously there's some stuff that's starting to click with guys, which is good to see. At the same time, even after the game, watching it the next day, showing it to the guys yesterday, I think everybody in our locker room understands that wasn't Michigan Tech football for 4 quarters. So that part is good that our guys aren't getting fooled by just winning a football game. Our execution in every situation and the bad penalties we took and so on, that's just not who we are, and we need to get that part cleaned up, and the guys know that. Obviously, that starts at the top. If there's a penalty problem, we got to get our guys to understand where that edge is at, not taking cheap penalties and so on. Some of the penalties you get during a game, holds or, that type of stuff is you're playing hard, you get caught in some bad positions, that happens. But the discipline penalties after the whistle or penalties before the whistle are inexcusable. Those just need to get corrected. Yeah, I thought Chase played well. Porter did some good things as well. Obviously, the rest of the guys picking up the slack, from the communication standpoint, with Sips out was big for us. But it's a team-wide thing. I told the guys that on Friday before we even got to the game, that it's not just the defensive guys that need to step up. Everybody's going to have to. You lose a guy like that, one way or another, whether it's a voice in the locker room, production on the field, whatever, everybody's got to step up when you lose a guy like Sips. I love everything in his game. We have for a while. Like I said earlier, it was probably a week ago, we feel like he's one of the best football players in that position in our entire league. He does that on a week-in, week-out basis. He finally got recognition for it this past weekend, but he is that guy for us every weekend. So, when Hunter is making plays like he did, sacks off the edge, knocking balls down, along with everything else he does, obviously he's tough to game plan for and everything else. So he makes our defense go right now, and obviously we're going to expect that kind of production from him every week. Yeah, there's no doubt. They obviously get the one behind us for the touchdown. Young guy getting his first couple snaps that got caught looking in the backfield and not understanding what his role was at that particular time. But as a whole, hold him to whatever it was, 50-something yards rushing. There weren't a whole lot of other chunk plays in terms of getting behind the defense. So that part was good. We gave up way too many yards on stamp screens and bubbles and that type of stuff, where we felt like we weren't physical enough. We didn't trigger fast enough. That kind of stuff we need to get fixed in a hurry, or we'll get exposed by everybody on those kind of throws from the rest of the fall. So got some stuff we got to clean up, but at the same time, the guys played awesome on that side of the football, and minus a couple lapses. Yeah, I think anything that happens, you get a chance to teach off of it. But at the same time, that kind of stuff has been coached and taught already. So you don't ever like to see that kind of yardage being gained on those types of plays, especially when we felt like we had bodies in a place to be able to make that play. So, we'll learn from it. Our guys understand now how they need to attack those kind of things, and so we will be better for it. But, it's a mentality deal, where you got to be willing to go be physical, even if you're not in a spot that's traditionally a place where, you're expected to tackle over and over again. Everybody on that side of the football is going to be rally to the ball and be willing to put their face on somebody if that's necessary. So we'll get there. Yeah, I love where the passing game is right now. I think the wide receivers are making plays. We get the tight end involved. We're trying to throw some screens and whatnot to make sure the tailbacks are still in the game from that standpoint. And at the end of the day, I feel like the Q is throwing it efficiently right now as well. And the one thing with the pass game, and it might be a little bit greedy on my part, is there's just, especially after Saturday, watching the film back and sitting down with Alex, I felt like there was 2 or 3 big chunks that we left out there at times, just bad with our eyes. But that'll come. I think, I mentioned this after the game as well. We've got a lot in terms of our pass game, whether that be with motions and movements or just concepts. So there is a lot on that kid's plate right now. But as he gets settled down and understands exactly where his eyes need to be, regardless of what we're doing with the movements, he'll start finding that too. So, but yeah, I love where we're at right now, throwing the football. We just need to add, some of the running part to it as well. I think the guys are, we're getting some cohesion with the front five. I think that helps. The tight ends are doing their part. We had a couple different formations where we've got, the second back being the lead at the point of attack rather than, get the guys up front and so on. So we're doing some different things schematically, but I think at the end of the day, if you're going to run the football, it is a mentality deal that the guys need to buy into. We're not just trying to do it. We are going to do it. We came off the football. I thought we knocked them back a little bit. It wasn't as much as we would like to see, but, we did have some success in the run game. You get to the end of the game where we get the football back with a chance to kneel on it and get out of there without giving the ball back. That was probably the drive that was the most disappointing is, we MA at the point of attack on 3rd and 2, I think it was, and they tackle us in the backfield and we got to punt it back to them. Those kind of things, we got to get over that. That's what's killed us in the first 3 weeks, and the guys know that. It's not a lack of effort by any means, but communication needs to continue to improve up front in terms of where we're going with certain schemes. And then at the end of the day, the guys just got to have confidence that they can get the job done and give the backs a chance to go make a play. So love what the tailbacks did. Colby ran hard. Jake Roof finally got back into the mix and did a couple nice things. And, of course, we all know, right, if we can get Asher into space, he's dangerous with his wiggle that he's got as well. So it's coming. It's a work in progress, obviously, but we'll get there. Yeah, he can. He's got incredible feet, really good balance. He is the type of guy that, when he gets to a certain spot, can make somebody miss or turn something that's not there into something. All that is great. I think as he gets more comfortable and more reps and starts trusting more of pushing where the play is supposed to go before he starts to get into, the jitterbug stuff, he's going to be a better back for that. But at the same time, as a coach, myself, Coach Milbreath, you don't want to take away his creativity of what he is. So you're trying to find that fine line of understanding what the play is, pressing a hole and then making a cut rather than, trying to do stuff in the backfield. But at the same time, he got us out of trouble a couple times last week by having that creativity. So, but yeah, he's dynamic with his feet and really good with the ball in his hands. 4 quarters of Michigan Tech football. We traveled well when we went to Bemidji. I don't have any doubt that we'll travel well again down to Oshkosh. But again, our guys need to understand that we need to execute from the first snap through the last snap, and we can't beat ourselves again with the MAs, the penalties, and so on. We got to play a clean football game. I've loved our effort and our toughness that we played with the first 3 weeks, but executing our systems on both sides, special teams need to be key for us this weekend. Everything. They play in the best D3 league in the country. They've consistently climbed up the rankings here this year. 2 ranked wins for them already with what they've played in their schedule. So, I said this last year when we went to play Platteville. I feel the same this weekend. With no D2 football in Wisconsin, this is a D2 league, so it might say D3 by their names, but there's nobody in our locker room, staff, players that buy that. They all know each other. We got a lot of Wisconsin kids on our team, so they know how good the football is in that league and what Oshkosh has been traditionally. So, we are not going to get tricked into thinking that they're a lower level than us. They're not at all. They would function in our league, and our guys know that. And so we're going to have to play good football. Last year we went down to Platteville, turned it over 5 times with 3 others that were chances to be turned over. We can't do that kind of stuff where this team is definitely good enough to beat us, especially at their place with the momentum they have right now. So our guys got to be ready to go. We're treated like just any other game. not going to read what's on their chest or what league they're from. We know we're going to have our hands full when we get down there. Yeah, I mean, I think the first 4 weeks, right, we played our non-conference is not there aren't any layups on there by any means. A lot of teams will try to schedule those kind of games to, whether you're trying to get an easy win or get a bunch of bodies playing, whatever the reason might be. We don't have that on our schedule this year, so we're going to buckle up and go down there and approach this game like it would be anybody else that would be in our league, and our guys need to approach it that way. So it's not I don't care who we're playing. We have not played good enough football this fall consistently to overlook anybody for whatever reason. So our guys will be ready to go, and we'll play it like it was any other team that we would have on our schedule. Really important, especially with Belock's been a weapon for us for a couple of years now, but to do what he did on Saturday in the timing that he did it, there was a couple of 3-and-outs that we had coming from our own end that was critical that we get the field flipped at that point, and he did it. So he's been tremendous for us for 2 years. I think I mentioned this at the beginning of the fall. I know he's been told it many times, but he's not just a punter for us. We've come to expect that he is going to provide that kind of production for us. Whenever he's on the field. So, but it's huge for us, especially when you go on a short drive, right? If he can flip the field for us, that's a critical thing for our football team.